Are migrants at the U.S. southern border quarantined with an unknown disease, and was a 10-year-old girl found with 20 types of semen in her? No, neither is true. An ICE official denies there is such a quarantine, and he said the claim about a young girl being raped by many men is an old false story he has previously debunked. The story originated from an article published by Big League Politics on June 26, 2019 titled "Texas Medical Professional, Migrants Quarantined with Unknown Disease, 10-year-old Girl Found with 20 Types of Semen in Her." Big League Politics, which opened, quote, "A medical professional on the border in Texas told Big League Politics that the crisis is reaching fever pitch, with 3 individuals now quarantined at a privately owned hospital in El Paso with an unknown disease. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) has not even been able to identify the disease the 3 migrants have. As the military guards the quarantine area, there were some Congolese people caught crossing the border. It was suspected they had Ebola. In one facility there are 3 patients being held because they don't know what they have. The CDC have been here to assess them. They are isolated, they only have certain specialists who can see them," the medical professional tells Big League Politics. End quote. Users on social media only saw this title, description and thumbnail. Quote, "Texas medical professional, migrants quarantined with unknown disease, 10-year-old girl found with 20 types of semen in her." Big League Politics. A medical professional on the border in Texas told Big League Politics that the crisis is reaching fever pitch, with 3 individuals now quarantined at a privately owned hospital in El Paso with an unknown disease. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) has not even been able to identify the disease the 3 migrants. End quote. Roger Mayer, spokesman for U.S. Customs and Border Protection in Texas, told LED Stories that there is no unknown disease outbreak at the migrant detention facilities, and none of the migrants are being treated in quarantine at a privately owned hospital in El Paso, Texas. ICE did place thousands of adult immigrants in quarantine last month because of mumps and chicken pox exposure, according to CNN. Quote, "U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has placed 5,200 adult immigrants in quarantine after being exposed to mumps or chicken pox, a dramatic jump from just a few months ago," the agency says. ICE has recorded cases of either mumps or chicken pox in 39 immigrant detention centers nationwide. An ICE official tells CNN, of the 5,200 detainees in quarantine across those centers, around 4,200 are for exposure to mumps. Around 800 were exposed to chicken pox and 100 have been exposed to both. End quote. The fake claim about a child being raped by as many as 20 men is not a new fabrication. Quote, "There was a female, 10 years old, who was found with 20 different types of semen inside her body. She was dispatched to a family member. The girl who was with her, who was supposedly a family member, was not really a family member, just someone who bought her from her family in Guatemala. These are real problems that exist here on the border. There are some people who are trying to leave jugs of water out here for them. A lot of these people come to this country needing help," the professional stated. End quote. Mayer expressed frustration at having to again deny that the semen of many men had been found in a young immigrant girl. "That story was going around a few months ago and we have nothing to substantiate that." The U.S. Customs and Border Protection official was referring to a story debunked by LED Stories in December 2018 titled "Fake News. Border Patrol Agents Did Not Find Body of 6-Year-Old Girl Raped by 30 Men." The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention did not immediately respond to Lead Stories' inquiry, but we know they are busy fighting real disease outbreaks around the world, not just viral fake news contracted through contact with social platforms. Big League Politics has not yet responded to Lead Stories' request for more information about their sourcing for the claims, such as has the website checked the credentials of the purported medical professional and what other actions did they take to verify the story. We will update this article if we receive a reply. NewsGuard, a company that uses trained journalists to rank the reliability of websites, describes BigLeaguePolitics.com as, quote, "a conservative political site owned by a political consultant that has published false and misleading headlines and stories and that does not correct errors." End quote. According to NewsGuard, the site does not maintain basic standards of accuracy and accountability. Read their full assessment here.